Today, we stand here together this morning as a city shaken by the heartbreaking shooting of 11-year-old Willow James. A child with her whole life ahead of her, harmed while simply riding home from school. As a father, a mayor, and a neighbor, I was devastated when I received that call that a young girl in our city had been caught in the crossfire of senseless gun violence. No child should ever have to recover from a gunshot wound. No child should ever have to even think about something like that, and no parent should ever have to fight to heal from something so preventable. Today, I can announce that an arrest has been made in connection with that horrific act. Thanks to the swift efforts by our Harvey Police Department and the Division of Criminal Investigation, a suspect is now in custody. A weapon believed to be used in the crime has been recovered and justice is in motion. But let me be clear, an arrest is not the end of this story. True justice is more than just a court date, and it's healing for Willow and her family. It's peace of mind to our residents, and it's a safer, stronger Harvey for every child that walks our streets. To Willow James's family, we are praying for you. We are walking beside you in this journey. And to our community, we must be united in ending the violence, not divided by blame or politics. That means refusing to use tragedies like this as talking points and instead coming forward with information, holding each other accountable and working hand in hand to make sure that our neighborhoods are safe. We will not be defined by violence, but we will be defined by how we respond. So thank you. And next, I'd like to introduce our Harvey Police Chief, Chief Cameron Biddings.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. On May 28th, our department responded to reports of shots fired in the 15800 block of Paulina Avenue. Upon arrival, our officers found 6 spent shell casings and learned that a young child, 11-year-old Willow James, had been shot in the head while driving in a car with her father and cousin. That call is one no department ever wants to have to receive. And from that moment, my entire team, detectives, patrol division, and command staff committed themselves to bringing justice for Willow and her family. Through persistent investigative work, we identified a suspect by the name of Graylin T. Waters. Mr. Waters was taken into custody on June 13th. During the search of his vehicle, our team recovered a firearm to have been believed to be used in the shooting. He has been charged with aggravated battery with the firearm, which is a Class X felony. He is scheduled to appear in bond court today at the Markham Courthouse. To Willow's family and to every family of the City of Harvey, your safety is our highest priority. When violence harms one of our children, we respond with everything that we have, and we do not stop until justice is found. This investigation was driven by the hard work, but it also depended on the trust within our community. I want to thank the residents who stepped forward with information and supported us in our efforts. We cannot do this in isolation. We need you, and we are grateful to the residents of the City of Harvey. In a moment, you'll hear from 2 key members of this investigations from an operational response. First, Deputy Chief Derek Charles, who will speak on our immediate field response and patrol strategy. Then you'll hear from Javier Magana, the Director of the Division of Criminal Investigations, who will walk you through the investigation process. What I'd like to do now is turn it over to Deputy Chief Derek Charles. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. As the Chief stated, after receiving calls of shots fired in the area of 158 and Paulina, Harvey patrol officers immediately responded to the scene. Once the officers arrived and discovered several shell casings, they were notified by dispatch that a possible victim had already arrived at Ingalls Hospital. An officer went to Ingalls and confirmed that there was a vehicle believed to be involved in the incident and a victim inside the emergency room. Officers secured both crime scenes and began canvassing the surrounding areas for witnesses and video footage. Harvey detectives also responded to both crime scenes and began their investigation. Director Magana and Detective Brazil combed through hours of video footage, identifying the suspect's vehicle within 3 hours of the incident, while Detective Baptiste, our juvenile detective, contacted the family of the victim to offer support services and updates. A short time later, the suspect's vehicle was located by the Lansing Police Department. The male driver was taken into custody, and both were transported back to Harvey Police Department for further investigation. Detectives identified the driver of the vehicle as Graylin Waters. During an interview, Waters admitted to driving the vehicle in question in the area of the shooting around the time of the incident. Detectives also processed Waters' vehicle and found a loaded handgun with ammunition that matched the ammunition recovered at the scene. This successful apprehension underscores the relentless commitment of the Harvey Police Department's Patrol and Investigation Divisions, alongside our command staff who are actively engaged in patrolling our community daily. Our sergeants meticulously analyze data from calls for service to identify target areas for directed patrols and regularly conduct outdoor roll calls, demonstrating the professionalism, dedication, and structured approach of our police department to our community. I would like to commend the extraordinary efforts of the men and women of the Harvey Police Department's Patrol and Investigations Divisions. Their swift, collaborative, and professional response led to this arrest. I would also like to express our sincere gratitude to the community for their unwavering support and cooperation throughout this investigation. Our thoughts and prayers remain with Willow, Ms. Nichols, and her family as they continue to heal from this traumatic event. We will continue to provide support and updates as this legal process unfolds. I'll now bring up Director Magana.
Good morning, everybody. On May 28th, we were called to the block of 158 in Paulina for a shooting that happened. My detectives processed the scene, located 6 shell casings, 40 caliber casings. We learned that a juvenile was struck in the head by one of the bullets. Our investigations, detectives started canvassing the area for video footage and also businesses. One of the nearby businesses had video shootings of the shooting, at which time we identified the vehicle used in the shooting was a red Mitsubishi Outlander. Through flock cameras, we located the plate on the vehicle. Subsequently, the vehicle was stopped in Lansing, Illinois, where Mr. Waters was arrested and transported to the police station. Eventually, Mr. Waters was charged with a Class X felony, aggravated battery with a firearm. I want to thank the citizens of Harvey and the businesses for their cooperation in giving us video surveillance of the incident. I want to express my sincere condolences to the family, and I wish a speedy recovery on Miss Willow. I turn over this conference to the lawyer of the family.
Good morning. My name is Attorney Quandra Drummer, and I want to start by saying Willow is alive. Willow is alive. Willow is alive. We should be smiling. This is a traumatic experience that she has went through, but Willow is alive. I come to you today on behalf of the family to speak in the words of the mother. But we have to think about the fact that Willow is alive, because what I'm about to say could go another way. But thank goodness it's not, because Willow is alive. This is a statement from Shevelyn Nicholson, mother of Willow James. Before I begin, I want you to think of something when you were young, so precious and so dear to you, and you went to bed and you had it, but when you woke up, it was gone, and you spent the entire day looking for it, and you never found it. And you're still an adult thinking, how would my life have been if I had found it? My name is Shevelyn Nicholson. I'm the mother of Willow James, a vibrant, intelligent, hard-kinded 11-year-old girl who survived an unimaginable series of unfortunate events. A few weeks ago, my daughter, Willow, was shot in the head while leaving school midday with her father and her cousin in a place that should be safe for every child, a school zone. The bullet entered one side of her head and exited the other. By the grace of God, she survived. However, for this young child, survival is only the beginning of a new series of events. What followed has been a never-ending nightmare no child, parent, or family should have to endure. Our lives have been shattered. Willow, our young, all-around athlete with a promise to become a future star, now faces a long, uncertain road to recovery, physically, emotionally, and mentally. She suffered a trauma no child should have to carry. Her father, William, who witnessed the horror unfold, and her young cousin, Josiah, who sat just beside her, now living with a trauma they'll never forget. The weight of this pain has no expiration date. No family deserves this kind of agony, and no child should be caught in the crosshairs of a senseless violence, especially not in a school zone. We're grateful that the individual responsible for this violent and cowardly act has been apprehended. While no arrest can undo the damage done, this moment of accountability gives us a moment of peace and a starting point for justice. However, accountability is not enough. We're standing here today because what happened to Willow, it should never happen again. That's why we, as a family, are committed to turning our pain into purpose. In Willow's name, we would like to be invited to have a seat at the table. We want to work with local representatives and lawmakers to establish Willow's Law, a legislative effort that will enforce stricter penalties and enhance sentencing for violent crimes committed in and around designated school safety zones. School zones should be peaceful areas with force field-like protection, not war zones riddled with aims for target practice. We want to give heartfelt thanks and appreciation to the Harvey Police Department for their vigilant, immediate, and determined response. We also want to give our gratitude to the state's attorney office, Mayor Clark, the Harvey's Commissioner Office, and to the many first responders and medical staff who handled this case with compassion, empathy, and urgency. To our families and friends, and every person who's lifted us up with prayers, messages, visits, words of encouragement, and acts of love and kindness, please hear me. My heart thanks you. I could not. Her dad could not. Her siblings could not move. Your love for Willow has pushed us to keep fighting and keep moving for her because right now she cannot. We no longer feel alone in the fights against the struggles that she has endured this school year. Willow's a fighter. She's strong. She's a light. We will not rest until her light shines even brighter and until every child in our community is protected with the force field-like protection and care that they deserve. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you and we ask that you please continue to stand with Willow. And remember, we would like to work on Willow's Law. Sincerely, Shevlin Nicholson, on behalf of the James and Nicholson families. Thank you.
We'll take a few questions.
Yes, my first name is Quandra, Qwandra, and the last name is Drummer, like in a band, Drummer.
Can we ask a question now?
Sure.
Can you talk about what progress Willow has made, what she's doing, what are some of the things that the struggle that she may or may not be having? I mean, at first we would thought a positive prognosis for her recovery.
Well, for an 11-year-old to have a bullet go from one side of the head to another, there is a journey. So what I can say is she's no longer just laying in the bed. She has moved on to a rehabilitative center, and she's able to do her daily workouts to get to a better place. But every day is going to be a heart-wrenching thing that an 11-year-old should not do. She should be getting ready for cheerleading practice or track, not what she is doing every day because of the trauma that she's endured. She is better than the first day, but every day is still going to be very hard for her. But each day is a bit better than the day before.
What grade is she in again?
She was in the 5th grade.
You talk about her being an athlete. You just briefly mentioned cheerleading and track. Talk to us more about this vibrant young lady that we're talking about today.
We have a cheerleader, track star, basketball, actress, singer, dancer. I mean, she hit all the points. That's why in the mom's speech, she said she's destined to be a star. Everyone she encounters, everyone who's been touched by a little bit of her life has been enriched. Everything that she tries to do, she does well. And it's not just in activities, it was in school as well. It is in school as well.
Does she, you talk about her having siblings as well. Is she the youngest of how many, or is she the oldest? Where does she kind of...
She's the youngest. Yeah.
How many siblings?
Youngest of.
Here's two sisters.
Two sisters.
Four total.
No disrespect to you. You've been very eloquent and shared a lot of information with us. But is it possible for maybe one of the family members to just share their gratitude for the outpouring of support? Anything that they would like to share?
We worked together to come up with what they wanted said, and it wasn't me preparing a speech. We worked for a while, waiting for the moment to be able to speak, and I was just a voice for them.
I appreciate it.
No problem. No problem.
I would like to ask the chief or the deputy chief a question about the actual apprehension and things like that. Is that possible?
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Did you get a chance to say everything you wanted to say?
I did. That's right. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Chief.
Good morning. How are you?
Evelyn from Channel 7. It's been a while since we spoke. Can you speak to have you been able to ascertain who the intended target was of this individual, and did he admit to the shooting, or what did he admit to?
So we don't want to release too much information as this is still going through the courts. We did interview the subject. As I stated earlier, the subject did admit to being in the area of the shooting, around the time of the shooting. But that's all we're prepared to release at this present time.
Can you say who was not the intended target? Can you share that with us?
At this time, no.
Was anyone in the car an intended target?
At this time, we're not prepared to release that information.
Is this individual known to you, the one who has been arrested as suspect?
Yes, he is a Harvey resident. He is known in the city of Harvey, and he does have a criminal background. I do not have the details of his criminal background with me at this time. We can release that information to you at a later time. I would have to contact the values.
Thank you, Deputy.
You're welcome.
What's the question?
I was asking if this individual, this Braylon Waters, is he a convicted felon and
Criminal background.
He's not a convicted felon. He does have a criminal background, and at this point, we don't have his background right now with us.
Would you say, based off of the background and criminal history that you've seen, he's a person that shouldn't have been out, or?
Well, we do know that he does not have a valid FOI card or a CCL, so he should have never had a weapon with him.
We'll take a few more questions. I need to get to court, so a couple more questions.
can the mayor respond to it? Mayor, is available? Right. Good morning, Mayor.
Yes, good morning.
I think in your initial remarks, you alluded to having concern about, obviously, about your residents. What do you say to residents who are obviously now very concerned about safety? I mean, this is ridiculous that a kid and her dad can't drive from school home without bullets flying. What do you want to convey to area residents about their safety, especially now going into the summer months, and traditionally we've seen sometimes spikes in crime and violence during the summer months?
Well, first, in the city of Harvey, we have seen a decrease in crime over the years. So we may want to make sure that we articulate that. As far as this particular event, we want everyone, of course, to be vigilant. You know, we are a community, And that's the important part that we need to convey here. The reason why we're here having this discussion today is because of community efforts through our community, through our police department, through the efforts of the mayor's office, and through this proud family that stands with us. So it's so many people working together is what makes this happen. What we want to try to do, and we're hoping that people will see, is that the city of Harvey, while we have had challenges, we are getting better. And we are putting things in place to make sure that issues like this never happen again. And I just want to say on the side note that I stand with the family as far as creating a law, and I'll do whatever it is that I possibly can to help deal with these types of issues, especially when and if, hopefully never again, some type of violence would take place in these type of environments.
Was he in the car? Was the suspect in the car by himself?
I believe he was in the vehicle by himself, correct?
Yes, he was.
He was in the vehicle by himself. Real quick, there's always this narrative that's being pushed out here that crime is up in the city of Harvey. And I'm here today to state that crime is down in the city of Harvey. Statistically, we see that crime has decreased in our city. And today should be a day to celebrate that we've captured this individual, that we want to celebrate Willow and her recovery, and we want to highlight her recovery, and also that my team is doing everything that they can to make sure that our city is safe. This was an isolated incident, and my team is using all available resources and technology that the mayor's office has provided to our agency to make sure that we're doing everything to make sure that this type of incident does not occur again. So I just want to put that out there because I know everybody's using it, likes to say that crime is up in the city of Harvey and it's down everywhere else. In the city of Harvey, crime is down. And we're going to continue to make sure this summer we have our officers out doing walk and talks. They're going to be out in different corridors throughout the city, in our business corridor and our residential corridor, so people can see our officers out there. My command staff and my team is also committed to being out there in the community so people can understand that we are part of the community. This department has changed. We've changed the culture. We're changing the environment. And that's something that we stand on and we're proud of. Thank you.
Chief, one last question. How long did it take from the time of the shooting to when the suspect?
I believe that was from May 28th to July 13th. June 13th.
But at one point, I believe in the press conference, you all said 3 hours after the incident, or at some point you all were able to locate the vehicle. Was that 3 hours the same day you all located the vehicle, but it took time to locate the actual suspect, or?
Well, I'll let Detective Ryan speak to it.
The suspect was arrested in Lansing the next day at his sister's house. He was transferred to a station where he was interviewed. At that point, we did not have enough sufficient evidence to bring charges, being that we were trying to get a search warrant for his vehicle that was in our custody. Upon executing the search warrant, we did locate a loaded 40 caliber handgun, and the state's attorney's office. They reviewed the case, look at video footage from the nearby businesses and residents, and they decided that it was enough to charge Mr. Waters with aggravated battery with a firearm.
And that was the next step?
That was, yes.
And you mentioned the license plate. How are you able to say how you were able to find?
Yes, the mayor and the chief, they brought in, it's called flock camera, and with that technology, we were able to get the license plates from their vehicle involving the shooting, and subsequently it came back to Mr. Waters. He was the registered owner.
And you got that license plate off of nearby surveillance video in the area?
And flock, it was flock, yes.
So basically, a flock is a license plate.
It's a license plate reader, yes.
Thank you all.